Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 debuted nationwide on July 12th. Adana and I are going back to memory lane to check out the first one, 1996 Mission Impossible. On Rotten Tomatoes, it is currently scored at 67% by the critics and 71% by the audience. And after reviewing it, it definitely needs an update.
If you choose to accept this review, it might detonate. We don't know.
Welcome back to the Tales of Two Bros. I am Angel,
I'm Adon.
where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert. So again, Mission Impossible came out in 1996. I don't know if it's the summer. I think it was more summer, like the kickoff the summer blockbusters.
I want to say it was a
that
summer
year.
movie. It felt like a summer movie.
Yeah. And I believe that this one coming up, Dead Reckoning Part 1, will be the official summer blockbuster kickoff. Because so far what we've had, all those blockbusters as of yet have been duds. It's directed by Brian De Palma. We know his work from, well, he's legendary. Raising Cain, Carlito's Way, The Untouchables, The Fury, Body Double, Blowout, Dress to Kill, Scarface.
He has a reputation for a big name title.
Well, I'm just saying, he's like up there with Martin Scorsese and Spielberg and all that stuff. He has his own place in cinematic history.
Agreed.
Starring Tom Cruise as the lead, John Voight, Emilio Estevez, Ving Rhames, Vanessa Redgrave, Kristen Scott Thomas, Emmanuel Biart, Jean Reno, Henry, I can't say his last name, Zerdny, I think it's saying his last name wrong. Ving Rhames, along with Tom Cruise, has been with every Mission Impossible movie.
I don't think he's in every one of them, is he?
I want to say so. There's not.
No, because
like
they replaced him with
Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
Nope. He may not have big roles or big parts like he had in this one, but he makes an appearance. He's like in every one, like one way or another. He makes it like a cameo, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, the music done by Danny Elfman, and we know him from his work on Tim Burton's Batman.
Very true.
This is also produced by Tom Cruise, and I think this is one of Tom Cruise's first production ventures. I'm not sure. Screenplay by David Koepp and Robert Towne. I enjoyed this movie. I thought this was done very well. It is slower than the sequels. The sequels are more action-packed. You have part 3 that kind of pulls it back a little bit from J.J. Abrams. I think that's part 3. Besides Mission Impossible 2 and the others, they're like more action sense.
Well, let's be honest. So like Mission Impossible was based on a show. And the concept of Mission Impossible is not necessarily action, which it adopted over the time, but originally was like spy work and stuff like that.
You can say that with every Mission Impossible. There is spy.
Yeah, but usually when you're doing like a spy thing, there's like drama, suspense. You got that build up, the planning, to execute the mission. Is not like all the other. Most of the Mission Impossible movies have shifted into, we're going to do spy stuff, but things hit the fan so quick, and there's sudden explosions, and we're just ever so slightly missing that Fast and Furious level. But we're getting there.
Well, they will never. I hope they never get to that level of Fast and Furious, because no.
I felt it when he. Well, I'll hold on to this because this is going to be a nitpick, because I was like, it leads on into the other films.
Are you talking about the helicopter explosion?
That and holding on to the train with his fingers, which leads into one of the other movies where he held on to the plane with his fingers.
When did he hold on to when did he hold to the train on the?
It's the end of the film when he's fighting the guy.
I know that part. But no, he's holding on to one of those suction things from.
No, there's another part where he gets let go and he grips on to the edge of the train.
Okay, I see what you're saying. But no, I mean,
there's like 2 parts for that.
I know what you're saying, right before he lets go to jump onto the guy, which they did a better job here than they did with Indiana Jones in the Dial of Destiny train scene. Like, you felt the wind. Granted, that was like a bullet train compared to that, but still going that fast, your clothes are moving, your hat will fly off. You know what I'm saying? Now, I haven't seen this for a long time.
Same.
And I enjoyed it. I think is a higher rating. It deserves a higher rating than Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I was actually surprised when you gave me the scores.
And I guess is because like Jon Voight's character is the lead character in the series. And they made him out to be the bad guy here.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of true heads or fans of the original show got a bad taste in their mouth when they saw that. And I understand though in a way that, you know, that's their love, what they grew up on, but they had to make room for Ethan Hawke. It's not an origin story.
I guess it helps for like audience members like me who never saw the show or know the original, because like for me, I didn't know that that guy was like they changed his character originally and like that they made him a turncoat and stuff like that. I mean, when you think of it, it's like us when we watch our, you know, our Marvel or Star Wars things. Sometimes they choose to change the character's nature. It hits us hard.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like it's like the changing of the guard. Okay, so to help tell the story of one or another,
you have to make space.
You have to make space. You have to create a story of why one person is no longer being the focus point where the other one is. I mean, on the show, the guy was old himself. Yeah. He was like Charlie or Bosley from the Charlie's Angels. In the sense, guy is old. He has the young people do all this stuff. And here, Jon Voight playing the same character. He's older, but he plays a guy who's burnt, if you will. He's burnt out.
Yeah.
From all the stuff that's happening where he's expendable and he's tired of that for only $60,000 a year.
Well, he even says it like in that one scene where he's talking about like how the changes you make really don't make the difference, and you're working for organizations that are throwing the government out and throwing the people out and stuff like that. It's like he's trash talking the people he's worked for years, but he's basically speaking from the heart, even though he's trying to act like he's not.
Right. I did like in a way that it also felt like more of like a whodunit. It had that thriller aspect, like who's the killers or who's the killer? Who's behind all this?
Who's the spy, the true spy, the mole?
The mole, right. And it kind of has that also like the fugitive kind of feel to it too, where he's being blamed or scapegoat of what's happened. And he tries to save himself or
I got a little bit of a Bourne Identity vibe.
Well, Bourne Identity, he suffered from amnesia at first. He didn't know who he was.
But what I mean by that is like you have a big clandestine organization that is after this one guy. He's been trained by them, and he's seeking to find his own answers, even though they're like chasing him down. That's the similarity I connected.
Right. Granted, this is done before Bourne Identity.
Very true.
But I can see your point. Yeah. This, as a suspense and thriller as it was, there was some comedy in here. There's some comedic moments, especially at the end where the train conductor and some other stuff too, where the guy's like freaking out.
Yep.
So let's go into our likes. The dislikes is kind of like the nitpicking. There are some things that don't make sense, but the way that was done, the way that Brian De Palma brought this to the big screen, which is not really his forte. It's not as violent as Scarface or say Carlito's Way or even Untouchables with that bat scene.
True.
But
although that Emilio Estevez scene.
Yeah, but not really. I mean, what was it? They showed the prong hit his face, but it wasn't gory. It wasn't violent. Like, it wasn't.
They didn't show the blood. Did penetrate.
Yeah, but no. It just boom and then cut off. I mean, they showed it enough to get the picture.
Yeah.
That's it, which I find it weird. Like, how come he can just move out of the way or lay down or just because the prong stuck out? Yes, I know they close, but he just stood there.
I think it's one of those things that it's supposed to be like it's moving so fast that once you see, kind of freeze like deer in a headlight. But I don't know.
I don't know either. And seeing it again, I knew it was going to happen. I knew, in the sense of I knew who the bad guy was, who the true bad guy was. I knew that. So seeing it again, I could see what's happening. He was taking control of the controls for the elevator.
Yeah.
The way he's moving, the way he's acting, it's like, okay, there's our sign. Like the movie shows you stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
It shows you that, but if you're not paying attention, it goes right by. Granted, the knife was a dead giveaway.
True.
when Ethan stops Jean Renault from killing the guy, he sees him and like he doesn't. They don't show him seeing a knife, but until later on the flashback, he looks
Mhm.
at the knife.
I had my
And
suspicions about the wife.
well, how about that? The age difference. I was like, "Ugh."
First of all, that was a noticeable age difference.
It
And
would make more sense for the other girl, the older woman that was a spy too, that got killed by the fence door.
supremely young. And even from the
She was
get-go,
younger than Tom Cruise.
from the get-go, she was highly flirtatious with his character. And then
Hmm.
on top of, we're kind of jumping around, on
Hmm.
top of which, at one point in my mind, I'm like, because I forgot who was the mole, I was like, if this guy lived, or if this guy was the bad guy, I could easily see him turning coat because his wife is either having an affair or acting like she's having an affair because she is clearly not keeping things hidden that well.
But also when we first see John Voight's character get shot,
Yeah,
you can see the wrist bend.
I did notice that. I was like, that's
You
weird.
can see the wrist bend.
That's a
Yeah.
weird angle to hold a gun.
Well, especially if the person is shooting you,
Yeah.
unless he's behind you. But then why would he come up behind you to bring the gun in front to shoot when he could just shoot in the back? If you're not paying attention, it would just go right by.
There was another.
Let-
If we're talking about nitpicks, I gotta get this one off my chest.
Okay.
The short hair black lady. This all happened like with the death of the first team. The one who was like, keep an eye on him, follow the disc, and it was her job to watch the disc, right?
Short hair black lady.
No, black haired woman.
Oh, okay. I was like,
I can't remember her name. If I said black lady, but like her job was to follow the disc, right? And she sees the target. Looks like he's being stabbed in the gate.
oh, the one I'm talking about with that should have been the wife.
Oh
She's
yeah,
older.
yes, her.
That's Kristen Scott Thomas.
Kristen Scott Thomas. In my mind, is like, okay, I get you want to see who's doing the killing, but why would you get so close?
Okay, we're going to some dislikes here before likes, but yes, it made no sense because she's there. She's not that close.
She walks up to like face.
No, but she's not that close, meaning that she's close to the victim, but she's not that close to the assailant, which was Jean Renault's character.
How did he grab her to pull her in?
Exactly. Plus, he has one hand on the fence, the other hand's with the knife, but the other hand on the fence is holding the bloody disc.
Yeah.
It made no sense how she got killed.
She would literally have to be like right up on him.
Or he was Plastic Man.
Either way, like it's like, or Dalcine.
He had to stretch out, get her and bring her back. That was a terrible, weak death for her.
Yes.
And that's especially if she's a professional spy.
Yes. Her job was not to be seen.
But not just that, you will know how to defend yourself. If you're a spy, you know how supposed to defend yourself if caught and stuff like that. You're well learned in, if that's a word, in self-defense, martial arts, what have you.
Should be. Mm-hmm.
But yes, I totally agree. Because the thing is, like, he has his hand again. I get on the fence with the bloody disc. And then how does he have time to grab her? He had to switch hands or take the moment to put the disc in his jacket to grab her and then to kill her with the knife. Now, I understand, or I would understand, if she came up close to the guy, even though she saw him being stabbed, but say she didn't see him stabbed, and she got up close, it was like, hey, where are you going?
And maybe if she was trying to grab the disc too.
Yeah, but how did she didn't see it? It was behind the fence.
It's true. We're just trying to make excuses. I'm like, that's the only thing I can.
Yeah. No, definitely right. We are making. Now, let's go before we go back into the dislikes. Let's go into the likes.
Okay.
So
you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm going to go first. I wrote it down because, of course, I'll forget and stuff like that. But Tom Cruise played multiple roles. Of course, Ethan Hunt, but he also played politician John Waltzer while he was being interviewed on that interview show on TV. That was actually Tom Cruise playing the senator, so he can play him as decoy in that lobby scene, whatever gala.
Paul Galla's thing kind of thing.
Right. But I have to say the prosthetics was very good because you couldn't really recognize him. You knew it was him because he was talking. Even in the first one, where they had this guy hostage trying to get some information, and he's playing another one. and that was him. I was like, that's pretty cool.
The prosthetics of the face reminded me of the movie Darkman. And then for a brief moment in my mind, I'm like, is this in the same universe? Please God, let this be canon. That this is the same. They stole his
who
technology.
Directed that one?
I forgot. Yeah.
Sam Raimi.
Oh yeah, that's true. Sam Raimi directed that one.
Yeah, that's his first superhero movie before Spider-Man. I also liked in that gala scene how like they marked the target.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of spray, and then it went on his hair, and so they could follow him. This is one of the first movies. Well, maybe there's more. I think there's others, but yeah, there's a the football movie he did. I can't remember. All the Right Moves. There we go. All the Right Moves. But this one's like really stands out where he's running a lot.
Oh,
he's running to chase the mark. He's running to escape.
The beginning of the Tom Cruise run era.
Correct. I love when him and Kittredge are talking at the restaurant, that back and forth, the camera angles. That's what I really like too here is the camera angles. Like when there is like moments of distress or something off-settling, the camera is off-settled.
Yeah, yeah. I noticed that.
And that kind of scene also kind of remind me of Heat, which also happened a lot later. Robert De Niro and Al Pacino having that scene together. But again, this came out before Heat did. Yeah. So I did like the train scene. And I also like the whole sensitive room scene where he has to get the information, the knock list.
Yeah, one of the most iconic scenes there is. Yeah.
Even though I know he survives and gets out of it, and I know that, I've seen it before, I still had that
tension.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. I was like, ooh, ooh. And the way he moved, like very ballerina in the sense of how to balance himself, that nature, that was good. But again, comedic moment with the guy who came in there first, throwing up and like, oh, I'm about to leave. Oh, no, I have to go back. So did you have any scenes that you liked?
That one scene with the sensory, fantastic. It's a classic. You can't beat that one, especially with the rat. And like as soon as I saw the rat moment, we have relatives that are definitely afraid of rats. I'm like, absolutely, absolutely, that would be the situation. They could be holding on to me for life, and I will be dropped.
Here's the question: how did he kill the rat?
Did he kill the rat? I thought the rat got away.
No, the rat's there. After like him freaking out, and he's pulling Ethan back. You see the rat dead behind him. It could be the knife. It could be the knife. He probably got it, but I don't know how he did that so fast that he slipped. He slipped on the rope where Ethan's falling. I don't know how he grabbed it, but then he killed the rat because, again, right behind him. After that, the rat is dead.
I missed that. I wanted to see more of Max. She reminded me like of a dark M. Like she's
right. Okay.
The magic show with the disc, I thought was clever,
smart.
I thought that was very smart, and I did enjoy that, especially when you find out at the end.
It made us question it because we did see him have two discs.
Yeah.
Before he puts it in, and then he puts the other one back into his pocket. So yeah, I was like, oh snap.
And Vin Raines, he pulls it out the trash. He's like, you were bluffing? He goes, yeah. I was like, very good.
Or like he said, he's like, that's the real one? He had the real one the whole time? He goes, yeah. Great way to discredit the guy and make him doubt for what he had.
Oh, absolutely.
Because how is he going to know? How is he going to see? He's busy pulling him up, struggling, even though he can see what Ethan sees, but doesn't mean he can see the hands moving. And
yeah, and there was like, even both of them had stress and tension at that moment. Like the one guy having to hold him up, them coming up there and cutting the cord, which I'm like, you kind of cutting the cord a little early, my guy. And that's why he dropped the knife.
Cutting the cord?
Yeah, he cut the rope. That's why he had the knife out.
No, he didn't.
I thought he was. Why he had a knife out then?
No, he was going to kill him.
No.
Yeah.
I swear he cut something.
No. Why would he cut the rope while he's trying to pull up and get the disc? Cutting the rope would not make anything.
Yeah, but it wouldn't make sense at the same time because if you killed him right there, there would have dropped blood and would have triggered the sensors.
Right. But at the same token, he's there. So everyone's focusing on the dead body where he can leave easily.
I guess.
So he went to kill, but he lost the grip and it fell. So he can't kill him now. what we see is that the rope is being pulled, and on the corner of the vent is rubbing the rope. Maybe that's what you got confused with.
Maybe because it fell off the wheel.
Right, because
yeah.
he freaked out on the rat.
Not necessarily scenes, but I did love the actors and their performances. So say what you will, like I thought,
except for the wife. I did have trouble with her because
it felt a
English.
lot.
Well, the English is not her first language, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So she was missing emotion behind her words. Don't kill him. No.
We need him as a alibi or whatever.
Come here. Let me kiss your. She doesn't say it, but it's like, let me kiss your hand, Ethan.
Weird.
Beautiful, but I would not have picked her for the role.
Yeah, but yeah, performances wise, and like the guy with the knife, I love him. He was in Beyond the Professional, so I liked majority of all the performances.
Oh, me too. I think it was stellar.
I was not a fan of the CIA boss though.
Oh, Kittredge?
Kittredge. Some about him, but that might be good for the role because he seemed like a guy. I'm like, you have a very punchable face.
Well, no, he plays an asshole really good.
So thinking back to it, and I take that back. He is good for the role.
Right. And he's going to be in Dead Reckoning.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Now, I have to listen to the dialogue they have at the restaurant again because I'm feeling that's going to be similar.
They're going to have
if not the same. Well, in Dead Reckoning.
Don't they use that same line of like, you have yet to see me reeling. We're upset or something like that.
I don't know if Tom says that.
So understandably, you're very upset. I feel like that's in one of the trailers.
Yeah, I don't.
I may be superimposing that.
That's what I say. I got to watch the scene again and to watch this. But okay, any other scene that you liked?
Surprisingly, not the action scenes. It's mostly the drama scenes were the ones that really the high takeaways.
I mean, it makes sense because it was more of a drama piece.
Yeah,
like you said, in the sense of reminiscent of the show, and like they did in the show, like the music's iconic. It was just like it gets good, and then on the credits you have like the techno version of it, which is pretty cool. But you have in the beginning when the light matches up and the the fuse is lighting up, and you see just like the show, you see parts and pieces of the film. Kind of like again, if you don't pay attention, you don't know what's going to happen.
That's like a severe spoiler alert right there.
No, it is, but not really. They don't give a lot that much, but they give some things up there.
It's like an anime intro. Like when you're watching the anime openings, they give you scenes to the full season, but it's so quick, no one really cares. They're just listening to the anime rock and we're like, oh yeah, that song's popping.
Of course, you'll connect that to anime.
Hey, you connect Star Wars, I connect anime. It's my thing.
So here we go. So let's go. Let's do that. Let's see. Is this into Star Wars? Let's see here. Yes, Ethan is Anakin, if reversed.
If reversed.
No, meaning that he's not known to be the chosen one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, same thing as Luke. Didn't know he was the chosen one.
I mean, he's kind of like the prodigal son to the main guy.
Jon Voight's character?
Yeah.
Well, he could be...
He was the apprentice.
Liam Neeson's character in Star Wars. Qui-Gon. Thank you. Qui-Gon. I hate the prequel so much I can't even remember their names. Where in a sense, like he rebels from his order. And that's what he was. Even though he was part of the Jedi, Qui-Gon.
Wait, do you mean Count Dooku? Because Count Dooku rebelled more.
Yes, but until that point, Qui-Gon is still part of the Jedi, and Jon Voight's character is still part of the organization. He just at the last moment tears in. But maybe Count Dooku too. You can put that relation.
Yeah, because Count Dooku turned to the dark side. He did have an apprentice and worked with Mace Windu.
But the apprentice was Qui-Gon.
That's true. That's true. And Qui-Gon, if he didn't die, he probably would have been
Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hunt. Ethan Hunt.
I keep wanting to call him Jack Ryan or Jack Preacher. Jack Preacher. Reacher. I'm blurring names.
Which also was played by Tom Cruise.
Sure.
But anyway, so like how Anakin was part of the Jedi, but yet turned to the dark side. Where the thing is like here, not exactly turned to the dark side, but he broke from protocol.
True.
To save his name. and reputation, what have you, to save his ass and his family, because his mother and brother, I believe, were set up by the CIA or by the MI.
No, it was the CIA.
Oh yeah, because they're at Langley. That's right.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm just reaching. Maybe it's not Star Wars related. But anyway. But there is a similarity there somewhere, somehow. If for those listening, watching, let us know in the comments how you can see the relation in Star Wars in this. But let's go now to our dislikes. Even though I appreciated the music of Danny Elfman, it was too much of it and too loud in a lot of scenes where I felt that it could have been reduced a little bit, the volume, and just to get the feel. But it just felt so many scenes, way too much on unnecessary moments.
I can see that. It like the leveling was off.
The tender moment at the train where the love interest got killed. I was like, who cares? She doubled. She was a double agent. Not double agent in the sense of another country, but the thing is, she was siding with her husband. That they planned it.
Yeah.
She used Ethan as a tool to get what they want, to try to get him off his tail or distract the scent, if you will. So for her dying, I was like, oh, good for her. I mean, good. I'm glad she's dead. Because they didn't really show any real, in my viewing, him and her having a real connection. Yeah, they may have been flirting. Yeah, they may have slept together.
It's highly insinuated that they slept together.
Yeah, well, especially with her kissing the hand and stuff like that. And then,
yeah. And if they didn't, my God,
but the thing is, like, he was like second guessing. Like, she was like, he was looking at her while she was kissing his hand. He was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Because he knew by then there was a setup.
Well, let's just put it this way. If they weren't sleeping together, she was extremely thirsty.
Well, yeah. And if they did, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, James Bond has slept with his enemies.
And allies.
I call bullshit on that helicopter train hook.
They actually hooked it?
No, that he took it off.
He took it off of the guy, right?
Well, they're in the tunnel, the train tunnel.
Oh.
And he takes it off. It's like that because the guy, the conductor is telling the guy in the front conductor,
to speed up,
go faster, because there's a helicopter in the tunnel with us.
Yeah.
So the train's going faster. The tension should be tight. There's no way to unhook it and then pull it back.
I mean, truthfully, I don't even know like how fast a helicopter could go in relative to a bullet train. I feel like I have to Google that. I do know, like, it looked like he accelerated the helicopter to give him some slack.
Okay, but I still call it bullshit.
Oh, you know what? We want to call it bullshit? If we're going down this route. Same scene. He's going to try to kill Ethan Hawke. I can't even say his name. Tom Cruise. And he clips the top of the with his rotors. And, like, my God, guy. You've gone through the entire subway thing. And you're like, train tunnel.
And didn't another train go the other way?
It was supposed to be coming the other way, and he still didn't get hit. And
I know. I was like,
this is the one thing that's going to clip you? This is the one thing that you're like, I got a chance to kill him with the most absurd thing to kill him with, and this is what's going to do us in. No. Well, actually, he doesn't even crash then. No,
he doesn't crash then. He loses his balance, if you will.
Yes. No, I would have been like, no, that should have been when you crash. You hit the thing. The propeller should have been like jacked up,
damaged. Right.
Yeah.
But the gum bomb did the trick. But how about this? I call bullshit on that too, because he does the gum thing and it perfectly propels him onto the train with enough force. Like he's not blown up himself or debris. Like he got his white shirt got dirty, but nothing like torn or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. That's not how velocity works. And
no.
And then secondly, speaking of the gum bomb, automatically tacky, he unravels it. It's the driest substance on earth. Squeezes it just once or real tight, and he could just throw it and sticks to things.
Well, that's what he said, didn't he?
No, he's like, you gotta put it on something and like get it out. Like he's like, you gotta squeeze it together.
Maybe
squeeze the blue and
the grease.
The grease. His hands are just so clammy.
But okay, here's another thing.
Because he did that with the restaurant. He just launched
the fish tank,
and it's stuck, and then blew up.
I'm not gonna cry about that too much. It was still a great scene, so I'm not gonna cry about that. I'm not gonna cry about the helicopter.
It's just
no, really, because it's just
man.
well, no, it's just like is like C4. Doesn't C4 stick to stuff?
Well, at least that's what they show in the movies. But you have to
Yeah.
push it onto the surface. You can't just
Well,
throw
maybe it's
it
like
and stick
maybe it was
like it's sticky at the top. You know,
maybe Ethan Hunt was a pitcher. Maybe
through
like
that
just like Johnny
throw like
Utah was a
100
football
miles an
player in Point
hour.
Break. I don't know. But the
Rookie of
thing
the
is,
year.
what cracks me up though, so the red and the green are together.
Red light,
Red
green
and
light. Yeah,
stop, go, but they're connected. So I'm thinking, it's like, wait a minute, if they're connected in the middle,
they automatically
wouldn't that?
touch.
Yeah, they're touching.
Mhm.
Wouldn't it automatically go off?
The logic is there. It's just not in the movie.
I'm just like, wait a minute.
We all follow you.
Unless when you fold it in half like a glow stick, it activates
Yeah.
the
Or
container,
is
the ingredients.
the quantity of the ingredients. Like that small minuscule line is not enough to trigger it. But once you trigger the other things, I mean, like epoxy. Like there's epoxy glue that you have to mix. You have to mix a certain
Yeah,
quantity.
I know, but still. But I understand if you have 2 sticks of gum, and then you put one green, one blue, one red, and then you put together, okay. But you have it connecting. That's a ticking time bomb whenever you have in your pocket.
Oh, absolutely. And he had more than one stick. And I'm like, bro,
Yes.
I'm like, God. Man. Well, matter of fact, when he was in the river, I guarantee you had some on him. And I'm like, the moisture, shouldn't that affect that too?
I don't know. Well, it was always in a wrapper prior.
It's an aluminum wrapper, man.
I don't know. Now that's pretty much nitpicking. I mean, there are some validation to our nitpicks.
It's not overall like horrendous.
Right. Like you're like, forget it. I'm done. This is too crazy for me. No, it's not like that at all. You're just like, it just makes you like,
It is a little bit dated. I will say that for the film.
Oh, okay. Yes.
With the cell phones and like and whatnot, but that's honestly
that's minor as well.
is very minor, and like it's like I barely noticed it.
The spy technology they had, in the sense of how they follow the target or the mask they have, even though they updated the masks, they did do that, but still that mask technology or that trope, they use it in multiple films.
Marvel with Black Widow.
But not just that, but I'm just talking about in the sense of the Mission Impossible films.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They use it for multiple, not every film, but multiple films they have. They use the same technology or the mask, the disguise, if you will. Again, the rating on Rotten Tomatoes is 67 by the critics, 71% by the audience. It needs to be higher. I mean, come on, this is the film that started it all for this franchise. It may be not as intense or action packed, but man, I was attached. I was hooked.
I would say after not watching this movie for so long and watching it again, I was still entertained. And overall, I think it holds up. Which
overall, it does hold up.
Yeah.
Overall, it does hold up.
Which is a
granted,
good
like you
show.
said, no, yeah. I mean, you have the dated cell phones. Yes, you have payphones. No one knows what that is nowadays, or the younger generation. No idea. So they'll see this, like they're probably like, "Oh my god, what is that? How come they don't just use a yellow phone, a smartphone? Why don't they just use their Apple Watch?
Is it like a version of Doctor Who? Yeah. Is he gonna
time travel? If they watch Doctor Who,
kids to this day still watch Doctor Who. That's still a thing.
You're in Ethan Hunt's world. You can see where he's coming. We can see it where his training is extensive. He knows multiple languages. He has almost like a photographic memory. He knows his surroundings, or he recognizes his surroundings because he identified people.
He plans things in the restaurant, like when he planned to make that phone call. That was bait to hook the others in, and like when he was calling about his parents, and that was actually he was planning ahead to get the Kittredge. Is it Kittredge? Kittredge.
Yeah, Kittredge.
But
he stopped him. But he stopped the phone. He hung up the phone before they could get a trace.
No, they got a trace enough to know that he was in London.
True, but not to pinpoint his exact location.
Exactly. So he wanted to bait him to get to the certain area, then hook him more.
So to go to that scene, I saw him looking up, and I wonder if he was going to. I said, "Are you going to look?" I wonder if he's going to look up. But he does look up, thinking that he's going to look up at the cameras, like surveillance cameras, like this show. Like facial recognition, whatever, blah blah blah. But no, he was looking at the clock.
Exactly.
Another smart detail. But is it worth the watch?
I would say yes.
Worth the own?
I would say worth the stream for me.
That's not a category that we usually do.
No,
like,
it's
why are you
not.
adding this? Why are you adding that category?
Worth the own. For me, not necessary.
Okay,
I
I
like.
own it.
I will watch it on like
Well,
Prime
it's
or.
worth the. Then it's worth the watch. Then.
Yeah, I said yes to the watch. No, you
Yeah.
said worth the own.
Right. So then it's a no for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Jesus Christ. But I own it. I have it on 4K to watch it, which is at that time frame back in 1996. There's not much you can do to make it 4K.
Yeah.
It actually makes it a little more grainy because they're trying to bring everything sharper, but it makes it a little more grainy. So I'm glad I rewatched it. I'm going to rewatch the other films leading up to Dead Reckoning. We're not going to do a review on those because that's way too many films. I know we did it for the Indiana Jones -1. This is rivaling Fast and Furious.
It's up there.
This is our sequels. Now, before we go, do you have a favorite Mission Impossible movie?
Truth be told, I've seen maybe one or two other ones.
Oh, how dare you!
And I forgot almost all of them. And you know what? The last one I watched was the one with the doves.
That's part 2.
No, I watched another one.
Second one.
I watched another one, but the only one that I remember vividly was with the doves. I don't remember the others. Because I remember we would talk with our cousins, and I'd be like, yeah, I watched this. Mission Impossible was never really on my radar, and I would watch it, and I'm like, I'm going to forget you in about 5 days.
Yeah. For me, Mission Impossible franchise is one of my favorites because they're good. They're very entertaining. Yes, you have some comic elements to it, especially the one directed by Brad Bird, who wrote and directed The Incredibles. So that one had a little more comedic flair, more so than the rest of the other films. J.J. Abrams did part 3, and then you have the guy now, the director, he's done now, I guess, will be 4 films, including Dead Reckoning Part 2. I believe it's 4 films. Maybe it's 5 films they've done together, but definitely 4 of the latest. It's hard to pick really which one is the best one. They're all so good independently. I do like the Dove one directed by John Woo. I liked it because it had that Asian flair, martial art flair, if you will. And there's actually martial art scenes. They're doing kicks and throws.
So wasn't the third one the one where he was like his character was supposed to retire at the end of the film?
Yes. Yes, he's married.
So I did watch that one. And then after that, maybe sporadically watched the others.
Yeah, Mission Impossible 1, 2, and 3. Then they have Ghost Protocol is the one where he's outside the building with the gloves.
I did see that, yeah.
Rogue Nation.
Did not see that.
That's pretty good too. And then you have Fallout.
So I stopped after the falling off the building, because that was Jeremy Renner, right?
Which one?
Where he's climbing the side of the building. Yeah, Ghost Protocol.
Yes. That's a good one. That's a good one too. But so far of movies, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
This is going to be 7 coming out.
7 and 8.
Okay.
I thought there'd be more. I thought there was more. But okay, so Fast and Furious, and I believe Friday the 13th, maybe Nightmare on Elm Street has beaten the Mission Impossible.
Friday the 13th absolutely has beaten it. Nightmare on Elm Street it should be close, if not on par. Because there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, Star Wars did.
Well, Star Wars, absolutely. Star Wars beat it too, yes.
Yeah, so, they have 9 films. Or now, no, they have more. 10. 11. Rogue One, Solo. Yeah. Is there another Star Wars film?
You don't count the Christmas one.
That's not a movie.
The Christmas special?
It's not a movie.
Longer than 30 minutes. Is it?
It's not a movie. It was not the Christmas special did not go into theaters.
Okay, what about the Ewok movies?
Yes, okay, fine.
And there's 2 of those, my guy.
There's 2 of those. Yeah, there's 2 of those. So now and that was on TV. Okay.
A win one.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, guys. That is our throwback review of 1996 Mission Impossible. Have you seen it? What was your favorite moment? What was your least favorite moment? Do you have a nitpick? Also, as always, if you have a movie for us to review or show, please email us at talesoftvbros@gmail.com or leave it in the comments below. We do have a throwback review of
Conan the Barbarian.
We're going to do that. What have you guys did, write in your comments below, and we're going to review it after we review Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Until next time, we'll be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Adon.
Love you, bro.
Love you too. This message will detonate in 5 seconds.